Week 64 was a prep week to get ready for the spray foam installation. I installed gangs that I'd forgot to install, cut holes for the speakers in the living room, and in general, roughed in all my AV wires for the TV and the stereo equipment that would be really hard to install once that spray foam insulation goes in. I also spent a good deal of the week on odd tasks, such as knocking out this incorrect wall for what will eventually become the home gym downstairs. I also worked in the adjacent room, ripping off this old paint and wallpaper in preparations for repainting this wall white. Later in the week, I fired up Blender to mock out the cabinets in the kitchen and test out different tile backsplashes. I really miss working with Blender. I end the week by setting up some fitness equipment that I ordered. I've been going to the gym since October, and since my company will reimburse fitness equipment, combined with some sales that were happening online, I pulled the trigger. I've got 2 days to go before my spray foam insulation goes in, and so I'm just double checking everything. There's about 10 things I want to knock out tonight. The first thing I got done was this hot water rough for my dishwasher. That's done. Next, let's go over to the stove area. This job is the result of a late night oh crap moment as I was thinking about things before going to bed. My oven range vent hood didn't have an electrical box, so I wired in this gang. Pretty simple job: cut some wire, install a gang, and connect it to the circuit that's dedicated to the oven. The living room will have 6 8-inch speakers. Since the drywall's up, I've already ran the speaker wires, but before insulation goes up, I need to cut those 8-inch holes and cover them with plastic. I've dropped the ball on filming a little bit tonight, but I'm getting down to the final tasks. So all the speaker holes are cut, I've got plastic above them, the wires are ready to go. So the insulation company can come in, they can blow in insulation to the attic, nothing's gonna fall down. And I've got blocking and strips of wood in all the corners on the exterior walls so that when spray foam goes in, I'll be able to drywall without having to dig any spray foam out and put wood in afterwards. The only thing that's left is this AV center in the fireplace. I've got a USB-C cord to run and this subwoofer cable. I haven't really talked about my AV console over here, but there's going to be a bookshelf here and a bookshelf over there. On this side, you can see I've got this 4-gang box, and we have Ethernet, we have speaker wires, we have HDMI, and these cables, I could nerd out, but like I really got good cables. All of the Ethernet is Cat 8. I've got 2 there and 1 up here. I wanted everything to be hardwired. Sure, I could and can still put in a switch over here so I could have even more Ethernet, but I wanted as few pieces of networking hardware throughout the home because I want to keep one giant hub in my mechanical room downstairs. Again, with the HDMI cords, I went with 8K HDMI cords just to future-proof things. Those Ethernet cords, they're Cat 8, which can do 20 to 40 gigabits, so way more than my hard drives even have the bandwidth for. But again, future-proofing things. Again, not knowing where things are going to go, I'm putting in a USB-C cable because these seem to be going the way of the future. So I'll have a USB-C going up and through my umbilical out here to the TV area. And the subwoofer cable, I'm just going to run it over there because, you know, you put a sub on the side of the room. This side has a doorway, so subwoofer over there. So I'm going to wire these, do a little bit of vacuuming, and I've got one last piece of blocking to put on either side of this fireplace, and it's done. So I'm going to get going on this now. To walk you through the specifics of this install, I'm first drilling holes through these studs so I can run that subwoofer RCA cable and that USB-C cable. I don't know if I'll need a USB-C cable, but I'm running one between that giant 4-gang box that'll connect to my receiver and the TV up there above the fireplace. Who knows what the future holds, so I'm trying to future-proof these things. This was honestly kind of a weird week. As I was waiting for the insulation to go in, there really wasn't a lot I could do upstairs, especially in terms of putting up drywall, so I decided to start on the gym down here. That wall that I just took out, is an incorrectly built wall, and it also divides the gym, so it needed to come down on both counts. That other wall you see will also need to come down because it's not a proper floating wall. I figured I'd just start working on some things that were out of the way of the upstairs, and the gym was one of those low-hanging pieces of fruit. I plan to paint the ceiling black in this room, which is why I'm vacuuming it here. I want all those cobwebs and bits of dust that I've accumulated over the years to be out of the way so the paint will be clean. Monday, January 17th, 2 p.m. I'm going to paint the laundry room and the gym today. Or at least I'm going to try to. Before I do that, I need to clear off some of this old wallpaper and paint so this wall has a nice surface, and then tape and plastic off all the walls and everything else so that I can paint these exterior walls and the ceilings. I want to have these unfinished ceilings be painted white for now because I might not ever finish them. It gives me good access to all the mechanicals, which is really handy. But painting them white will look nice. So before I get going on that, I'm gonna start with this wall and clean it up. This is a new doorway between the laundry and the gym in a load-bearing wall. It's part of my engineering blueprints, and I've added a proper support header above to support the weight. So I can take out this base plate and eventually cut that concrete curb out too. Another project I worked on while I was waiting for the spray foam insulation to go in was my kitchen cabinets. I've long been debating whether or not I'm going to build my cabinets from scratch or if I'm going to buy them. After an initial quote at Home Depot of $16,000, I happened to come across an online cabinet store called RTA Cabinets. RTA Cabinets does custom cabinets of all different styles and sizes, however, at a fraction of the cost. I got all these cabinets for about $5,000, but I wasn't sure what cabinets I'd need at first, and you want cabinets to be exact. So after saying I wouldn't break out Blender and do any 3D modeling on this project, I finally broke down and modeled every single cabinet size and all of my fixtures to scale. This has allowed me to really visualize different backsplashes and cabinet designs in my kitchen and get a pretty photorealistic result. In fact, 3D animation is my hobby, and in some of these renders, you're seeing an add-on to Blender called Physical Starlight and Atmosphere. You can see these really nice golden hour renderings, and it's just kind of fun to see what the finished space might look like. It's also given me the chance to play around with different flooring options, so I'm sure you haven't seen the last of Blender. I'll keep using it as I prototype various finishes for the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom, and honestly, the rest of the house. So, for now, enjoy these final renders because I've had a lot of fun with Blender here. Last but not least this week, I set up some home gym equipment that I've been ordering for the last month, and I hadn't had a good place to set it up, but I figured, you know what, one of these basement bedrooms downstairs, even though I have some other stuff in there, it'll be a fine place for now. So it'll also give me a sense of the scale of the equipment in the basement so I can properly fit it into its final gym resting place once I build that room out. So I started with this mat and Amazon's cheapest lifting rack. This is the Fitness Reality rack. Had pretty good reviews actually, and it's a full rack and provides all the safety features of a rack. So if you're squatting or more importantly doing something like bench press, if you're setting up this cage properly, you're not going to drop weights on your neck and kill yourself. You can still hurt yourself, but hopefully not kill yourself. So I got that adjustable bench there. It's the Flybird bench. And just a few different pieces of equipment. These are some Yes for All J-hooks so that I don't damage my Olympic barbell, or that's the idea anyways. I've got this nice weight tree by Marcy that should be able to hold my 300-pound set, and even a few weight extensions for hanging weights on the outside of the rack, which is just a nice convenience thing. So all in all, it's a very cheap system, But my company actually allows me to expense gym equipment up to $600 a year. So I'm going to be able to expense almost all of this, which is fantastic. And I always am a big fan of lowering the barrier to entry to things, which is another reason I wanted a home gym.